They who sleep last wake first. Hunger and pain lengthen the night, and so the beggars and dogs are the last to see the stars. Hunger and pain hasten the awakening, and beggars and dogs are the first to see the sun. Rusty knew hunger and pain, but this weariness was even greater, and he was asleep on the steps of the chaat shop long after the sun had come striding down the road, knocking on nearly every door and window. Somi bathed at the common water tank. He stood under the tap and slapped his body into life and spluttered with the shock of mountain water. At the tank were many people, children shrieking with delight or discomfort as their ayahs slapped them about roughly and affectionately. The ayahs themselves, strong, healthy hill women with heavy bracelets on their ankles, the bhisti, the water carrier with his skin bag, and the cook with his pots and pans. The ayahs sat on their haunches, bathing the children, their saris rolled up to the thighs. Every time they moved their feet, the bells on their ankles jingled, so that there was a continuous shrieking and jingling and slapping of buttocks. The cook smeared his utensils with ash and washed them, and filled an earthen chatti with water. The bhisti hoisted the water bag over his shoulder and left, dripping. A pie dog lapped at water rolling off the stone platform, and a baleful-looking cow nibbled at wet grass. It was with these people that Somi spent his mornings, laughing and talking and bathing with them. When he had finished his ablutions, dried his hair in the sun, dressed and tied his turban, he mounted his bicycle and rode out of the compound. At this advanced hour of the morning, Mr. Harrison still slept. In the half-empty church, his absence was noted. He seldom missed Sunday morning services, and the missionary's wife was impatiently waiting for the end of the sermon, for she had so much to talk about. Outside the chaat shop, Somi said, "Hey, Rusty, get up. What has happened? Where is Ranbir? Holi finished yesterday, you know." He shook Rusty by the shoulders, shouting into his ear, and the pale boy lying on the stone steps opened his eyes and blinked in the morning sunshine. His eyes roamed about in bewilderment. He could not remember how he came to be lying in the sunshine in the bazaar. "Hey," said Somi, "your guardian will be very angry." Rusty sat up with a start. He was wide awake now, sweeping up his scattered thoughts and sorting them out. It was difficult for him to be straightforward, but he forced himself to look Somi straight in the eyes and, very simply and without preamble, say, "I've run away from home." Somi showed no surprise. He did not take his eyes off Rusty's, nor did his expression alter. A half smile on his lips, he said, "Good, now you can come home and stay with me." Somi took Rusty home on the bicycle. Rusty felt weak in the legs, but his mind was relieved and he no longer felt alone. Once again, Somi gave him a feeling of confidence. "Do you think I can get a job?" asked Rusty. "Don't worry about that yet. You have only just run away." "Do you think I can get a job?" persisted Rusty. "Of course, don't worry," said Somi and pressed harder on the pedals. They came to a canal. It was noisy with the rush of mountain water, for the snow had begun to melt. The road which ran parallel to the canal was flooded in some parts, but Somi steered a steady course. Then the canal turned left and the road kept straight, and presently the sound of water was but a murmur, and the road quiet and shady. There were trees at the roadsides covered in pink and white blossoms, and behind them more trees, thicker and greener, and in amongst the trees were houses. A boy swung on a creaking wooden gate. He whistled out, and Somi waved back. That was all. "Who's that?" asked Rusty. "Son of his parents." "What do you mean?" "His father is rich, so Kishan is somebody. He has money, and it is as powerful as Suri's tongue." "Is he Suri's friend or yours?" "When it suits him, he is our friend. When it suits him, he is Suri's friend." "Then he is clever as well as rich," deduced Rusty. "The brains are his mother's, and the money his father's?" "Yes, but there isn't much left now. Mr. Kapoor is finished. He looks like his father too. His mother is beautiful. Well, here we are." Somi rode the bicycle in amongst the trees and along a snaky path that dodged his way and then they reached the house. It was a small flat house, covered completely by a crimson bougainvillea creeper. The garden was a mass of marigolds, which had sprung up everywhere, even in the cracks at the sides of the veranda steps. No one was at home. Somi's father was in Delhi, and his mother was out for the morning buying the week's vegetables. "Have you any brothers?" asked Rusty as he entered the front room. "No, but I've got 2 sisters, but they are married. Come on, let's see if my clothes will fit you." Rusty laughed, for he was older and bigger than his friend, but he was thinking in terms of shirts and trousers, the kind of garments he was used to wearing. He sat down on a sofa in the front room whilst Somi went for the clothes. The room was cool and spacious and had very little furniture, but on the walls were many pictures, and in the center a large one of Guru Nanak, the founder of the Sikh religion. His body bare, the saint sat with his legs crossed and the palms of his hand touching in prayer, and on his face there was a serene expression. The serenity of Nanak's countenance seemed to communicate itself to the room. There was a serenity about Somi too, maybe because of the smile that always hovered near his mouth. Rusty concluded that Somi's family were middle-class people. That is, they were neither rich nor beggars, but managed to live all the same. Somi came back with the clothes. "They are mine," he said, "so maybe they will be a little small for you. Anyway, the warm weather is coming and it will not matter what you wear. Better nothing at all." Rusty put on a long white shirt which, to his surprise, hung loose. It had a high collar and broad sleeves. "It is loose," he said. "How can it be yours?" "It is made loose," said Somi. Rusty pulled on a pair of white pajamas, and they were definitely small for him, ending a few inches above the ankle. The sandals would not buckle, and when he walked, they behaved like Somi's and slapped against his heels. "There!" exclaimed Somi in satisfaction. "Now everything is settled. Chart in your stomach, clean clothes on your body, and in a few days we find a job. Now is there anything else?" Rusty knew Somi well enough now to know that it wasn't necessary to thank him for anything. Gratitude was taken for granted. In true friendship, there are no formalities and no obligations. Rusty did not even ask if Somi had consulted his mother about taking in guests. Perhaps she was used to this sort of thing. "Is there anything else?" repeated Somi. Rusty yawned. "Can I go to sleep now, please?"